Okay. Is this thing on? Welcome to Ascend with Courtney Smith, my very first podcast of my new show. Full disclosure, I have had a podcast in the past. It was called Courtney L. Smith or Courtney L. Fit. It was 2018 to end of 2019, and it was all about my weight loss journey before my wedding. But COVID happened. Life happened. Fast forward 5 years. I'm married. I have 2 kids. I'm a top performing realtor in Midtown. My life has shifted. And 2025 for me was all about a rebrand of figuring out, who am I now? Who am I? Having children, becoming a mom, identity crisis was real. And the type A perfectionist, I had to leave her in the past. I had to love and let go and release that version of myself and step into a new version of myself. One that gives myself grace, that understands that you can only plan so much when you're a mom of 2 young kids, age 1 and 4. And also I learned about 9 months into having my whole life thinking I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, realizing I don't. I actually love real estate. It has been my passion since I was 16 years old, and I can't see a life without practicing real estate. My other passion is personal development, professional development, therapy, if I'm going to be honest, being the best version of myself, helping others, cultivating community. And I am a deep believer in a sense of identity, having identity goals, having habits based in your identity. So I have run 4 half marathons, but training for half marathon, I always stop after the run. So what I'm working on is the identity I am a runner. And I have now been waking up at 5 a.m., going to the gym and running every morning for about a month. Very new habit, but still it's sticking. So I just wanted to say welcome to my new show, Ascend with Courtney Smith. I'm going to tell you all about what to expect. And this is also my imperfect first episode. I know for a fact it actually made me sick to my stomach of how not perfect these first probably 100 episodes are going to be. And the cheesy things I had to remind myself were start, done is better than perfect, messy action. Over the years, I've had many mentors. I know the work, I've done the work. Showing up, so hard. I have a lot of confidence. I am a huge extrovert. My definition of a good day is meeting 10 new people. I love to have a full life. I love to have community, friends, networks. I love to go to conferences. Absolutely love social media. Connecting with humans, the human behavior, human psychology, and also just being memorable, because people may forget what you say, but they never forget how you made them feel. And that's something that I live by, and a legacy that I carry from my mother and my mother's mother. My maternal legacy is the Schrontz women. We leave things better than when we found them. That's what we do. And yes, this is episode 1. I'm recording it imperfectly, unfortunately, because I had thought that I had the perfect plan. I have a podcast producer. I booked the video shoot. I staged the studio. We had the 3 camera setup, the lighting. I had a full day schedule of filming. I had like a set assistant, a content creator, a podcast producer, not 1, but 2 videographers. This was so well organized. I had my 7 guests with their designated time slots, their buffers in between. And then you know what happened? 5 out of 7 people canceled within 24 to 48 hours of a shoot that I was planning for 3 weeks. And so I do what Courtney does best, which is work well under pressure in ridiculous environments. And I scrambled to find new guests. But you know what? I can't wait. Those original guests are like, so sorry, can't come for various reasons. Cannot wait to be on the pod. So we're coming in the future, and I cannot wait to share them with you because they are iconic. But everything happens for a reason, because the 7 guests that I end up interviewing were all so phenomenal. I was just talking to the editor, and the episode that is for sure going live, I say for sure, but we'll see, going live next Monday, is the one and only Ari Singer, Dr. Ari Singer. She is a pediatrician. She just has this, in my opinion, unique knowledge base of child development. She specializes in neurodivergent children. So non-neurodivergent children, I'm paraphrasing here, are like a cakewalk. Anytime I bring her a situation, I'm lucky enough that she lives in my neighborhood and that I get to call her a mom friend. Anytime I've asked her a question about something going on with Lauren or something going on with Paul at a wine night, first of all, thank you for humoring me because you're not working, you're not on the clock. But her advice has changed my life. It's changed how I parent. It's changed how I show up for my kids. I have so much less pressure on myself. I'm so much more patient, so much more loving. And I was doing something that I thought was in my daughter's best interest that actually did not support her development. And then I was running myself ragged to try and jump through these hoops to be this mom that I thought I should be, when really 4-year-olds just want presence. They want you to sit on the floor with them and play with them, or create an environment where they can play independently. Lauren and her easel can be entertained for 45 minutes straight. Anyways, I digress. So this is episode 1. I'm recording it imperfectly because a lot of cancellations, and then we rebooked and shot. Then I learned that 30 minutes of raw footage, when you have the 3 camera setup, so 1 camera on the guest, 1 camera on the host, and then a wide angle camera on everyone, between the audio and syncing the 3 videos, editing and chopping it up. Fun fact, it takes 5 to 6 hours to edit 30 minutes of content. So it was already going to be tight to hit this Monday deadline. And so we worked really well together. I really have a lot of respect for this podcast producer. And we came up with a plan. I am taking on to film a solo episode while she edits the amazing first episode with our pediatrician, Dr. Ari Singer, which is going to go live on next Monday, January 12th. So really excited for that. I think what we're going to do in the beginning is alternate. 1 week will be a solo episode, and the following week, or an interview, but maybe, actually, I'm going to be interviewing this week one of the coaches I worked with in 2025. Her name is Louisa. She is an absolute, I have no words. I cannot wait for you to meet her. She helped me with so much, and I'm going to get vulnerable on that episode because I know it's going to help people. And if it's one thing about me, I will do what I need to do to help people. I love helping people. So yes, this episode, imperfect, but next week's episode with Dr. Ari Singer, you're going to absolutely love. So here we are, we're recording because I keep my commitment. And if there's one thing you need to know about me, people have called me a freight train. Sometimes not in a complimentary way, but when I have my eye on something, almost nothing can stop me, which makes me good at sales. So last Friday, I batch recorded 7 episodes. Since then, as I mentioned, 5 guests had canceled. And I could have used that as an excuse to stall. But no, I committed to having an episode go live today. So one episode's going live today because that's not how I operate. I don't go back against my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. So today, you get me, real, imperfect, still showing up. And if you're someone who keeps waiting for perfect, this show is for you. It's about, I listen to a lot of tech podcasts, and it talks about this concept of shipping. Just ship it. Literally close the box, put on the label, ship it. It's all about the MVP, the minimum viable product. So here we are. So I'm going to wing this like my eyeliner. LOL. And it's still going to land. So the goal is to define the show in one clear sentence and then expand. So here we are. Ascend, I use that word because in my core, I'm all about growth. I cannot not grow. I cannot handle stagnation, being stagnant. I love a challenge. I love to grow. I'm very competitive. I love to win. Everything is a competition and I must win. Again, sales is the most socially acceptable version of being competitive and winning, apart from being a pro athlete, which I'm not sure I have what it takes. So I use the word ascend because it's about becoming the kind of person who keeps their promises even when life is loud. I have 2 small kids, 1 and 4, husband, job, clients. Today was a closing day, the full day in the office. It's been a lot, but it's ambition with heart. It's mindset, habits, and conversations that move you up a level in your health, relationships, career, and your identity. This is not motivation that fades in 20 minutes. This is alignment, strategy, and follow through. So if you're new here, I'm Courtney Smith, Toronto-based realtor, specifically Midtown Toronto. That is Bloor to York Mills. That is Bayview to Bathurst. This is my square. This is the element I live in. I eat, sleep, and breathe Midtown. I am Midtown. I live in Midtown, Midtown mom, Midtown wife, Midtown realtor. If I had $1 for every time I said the word Midtown, I would already be a millionaire. And I've only been here for 7 years, so that's saying something. I absolutely am obsessed with this neighborhood, the people who live in this neighborhood, the community, the relationships I've cultivated, the friendships, Lauren's little friends, Paul's little friends. Oh, I can't help it. It's just too good. We have, literally like a village. I live in Davisville. As someone who grew up in a small German Mennonite town of less than 1,000 people in rural Waterloo, I know village. I know village like galloping horses up a dirt road at 5 o'clock in the morning, okay? I know villages. Davisville village is a village. It is literally impossible for me to walk my daughter to school, which, by the way, is 2 stop signs away, and not see at least 5 people we know. Kaylee's seeing people she knows, or not Kaylee, that's my sister, Lauren. We're steps to Bayview, the walkability, my husband's commute downtown. He's in finance down Bay Street and 15, 20 minutes flat. It is the best possible life. It is my dream life. I've always wanted to live in Midtown, and I've always wanted to sell in Midtown. It is the pinnacle of real estate, in my opinion. Great place to raise a family and an excellent, jumping off point for husband to go downtown for work, us to jot up to the airport, up to Collingwood or to Muskoka. It's just such a great central pocket. All the best, I can't say all the best. Many of the top public and private schools are also conveniently located here. We're going to touch more on that in the podcast. I really can't wait to share the guests with you. I want to just have all the episodes go live tomorrow. One thing about me, I love high performance. I love beautiful homes. I love the psychology of change. I love evolution. I love the concept that your life expands when your standards rise. And I also know what it feels like to be juggling everything and still feel like you're behind. I get questions like, how do you have it all together? I don't. How do you do it all? I do not. How do you have it all together? You should see my house right now. So, but you know what? I think that more and more, it's finally sinking in now that I'm 36, about to turn 37. It's 2026. As cheesy as it sounds, life is about the journey, not the destination. There is no destination. Destination is death. That's it. You live, you die. What is life? The gap in the middle. I think the more we can all realize that the mundane is your life. Do you like the mundane? What do you do in the morning? Who do you spend it with? What do you do for work? Who do you come home to after work? Like, do you like your home, your family, your friends, your job? Do you like yourself when you look in the mirror? Deep question, I know. But these are just things that I'm really passionate about. And so I created Ascend for the person who has big goals, real responsibilities, and zero interest in pretending life's perfect, because it's not. I've also coached habits before. Fun fact, I was a leadership coach in a former life in a corporate environment. I've coached many managers, executive leadership. I've had coaching clients. I'm a certified coach. And I really like to bring that passion for coaching and that coaching outlook to my friendships, my family relationships, my marriage, my children. I'm always telling Lauren every day her affirmations. You can do hard things. So yeah, coaching is a really big part of who I am as a person. And I am constantly reinventing myself along the way. We call it a rebrand now. It's very 2026 jargon, especially for a founder, entrepreneur, realtor, etc., etc. And I'm in the arena every single day. My hobbies include selling real estate and personal development. So in my free time, I like to attend conferences, listen to podcasts, film podcasts, and yeah, connect with my mom groups. I have amazing community mom groups. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. So here's what you can expect from Ascend. Your goal-oriented growth mindset, change management girly, your girl's girl, your mom's mom. There's no gatekeeping here. I love to share everything. I'm an open book, and I really love to influence positive change in the world. And you know that cheesy saying, be the change you want to be. Plus, I love getting out of my comfort zone. It is something that I work on constantly, because who doesn't love a comfort zone? Obviously, it's comfortable, but I work in sales, very elite sales with very challenging personalities. And getting out of your comfort zone is a literal requirement of the job. And it's transferable. They say how you do one thing is how you do all things. So that's why I like to run. It's hard. Waking up early. It's hard to get out of a cozy bed at 5 o'clock in the morning. And showing up online. I think that content creation is one of the most underrated forms of personal and professional development. Why? Do you know how hard it is to take a video of yourself and post it on the internet? I do. Very hard. Very uncomfortable. Yeah. You know what you will get? A lot of negative energy. But that's just it. You got to weather the storm and show up anyways. Just like sales. So with that being said, here's what you can expect from Ascend. Number 1, real conversations with high caliber guests, founders, executives, creatives, health experts, leaders, and people who have done hard things and stayed human. Number 2, solo episodes like this, where I share frameworks, mindset shifts, tactics, strategies, and things you can actually implement. Above and beyond the strategy side of things, which I have lots of. I love a life hack. I love a strategy. I love a framework. I love an acronym. I love a methodology. I love a downloadable PDF more than the next type A girly. However, a concept that I started exploring that I'm obsessed with is the creation is complete. You are whole, and your imperfect self has value. And you don't need to be perfect to show up. You don't need to be perfect to make a difference. You don't need to be perfect to be loved. You just can be you. There's an author, forget his name, but he has trademarked the term unique ability, like your unique ability. And I truly believe in this world, we are all as unique as a snowflake. I know that sounds really cheesy, but what's meant to be will be. What's meant for you is for you. We are all different. We all want different things. We all have different strengths. And I think it's beautiful that we don't all want the same things. And so more than strategy, I think sometimes it's just about acceptance, accepting who you are, showing up as you are, and really getting vulnerable. I found that some of the best conversations, I've had some of the best relationships, some of the best growth, some of the best friendships, they're formed on vulnerability. And especially in this day and age of AI, human connection is going to be more valuable than ever. And being real, especially in real life events, that's something that I'm really bullish on in 2026 with social media and webinars and Zoom and remote work. And just all digital means of communication. I think now more than ever, people really love to get together in person with human beings because it's, as far as I know, really hard to be an AI bot, in real life. It's just they've really mastered it more online. So I think, yeah, being yourself and human connection is what I want to bring to the table with these solo episodes. You're going to see I'm an imperfect person. I'm a literal human being. And human beings make mistakes and they are who they are. And that's what I want to bring. A little long-winded on number 2. I know I'm working on it. Number 3, actually, I just spoke about this before I even meant to, a focus on identity, not just outcomes. I can't talk about this more right now, but I will. But all I'm going to say is, as I mentioned before, a focus on identity, not just outcomes, because if you upgrade who you are, the outcomes will follow. Actually, I'm going to hum a few bars on this. I'm on a weight loss journey. Gained a lot of weight after having kids, haven't lost it. There were other things at play. And I'm working on overcoming these things now. And while I have gone on the wagon and fallen off the wagon multiple times in the past 5 years, the past 4 weeks or so, I've been very consistent, going to bed early, waking up early, eating healthy, exercising, drinking water, not being stressed out, having boundaries. The list goes on. I also just wore my Oura Ring sizing kit, so I now know what size Oura Ring to order. So let's see how good my sleep recovery really is. But this latest kick of weight loss, how I've been able to be so consistent, is when I think about the behavior and the actions that I am going to do, I think about the person I want to be, specifically the mom I want Lauren to grow up with. And I want to be someone who wakes up early, and I want to be someone who goes to bed early, and I want to be someone that takes good care of themselves and exercises and moves their body and respects their body and has self-care and has a positive self-image and is polished, hair and makeup, things like that. I really want to put my best foot forward, and I'm deciding how I behave on a daily basis from an identity level rather than from a brute force willpower. I'm going to set my alarm. I'm going to wake up no matter what. It's not about forcing myself out of bed and ripping myself apart if I do sleep in. It's more about I want to be the person that wakes up early and that keeps my word. So yeah, that's something else you're going to see sprinkled throughout here. And number 4, a blend of personal development, business, relationships, and wellness, because life is an ecosystem. And I'm in the business of real estate, residential real estate, which is very personal. I work with families upsizing from a smaller home to a bigger home. I work with families downsizing, empty nesters, kids off to university. They don't need a big 4,000 square foot home anymore. They're looking for a pied-à-terre in the city. I work with divorcees and in divorce situations and relocations. All of these things have an ecosystem. You're never doing a real estate transaction in a vacuum. There are emotions, personalities, opinions in play. There are things that are expressed and things that you need to read between the lines. And there are lifestyle considerations, from working with a family relocating from the UK whose kids need an IB program because they have traveled all over the world and they need the transferability of their kids' education. So they need proximity to private schools. They need private schools with IB programs. They need a education consultant referral. These are things that go above and beyond real estate and that go into the realm of just living and being a Midtown mom myself, knowing daycares, nannies, housekeeping companies, education consultants, private schools, public schools, directors of admissions, maybe. It all is what makes up Midtown, which I think is so beautiful. It's just such a great place to live, but it is an ecosystem. And even, from an appraising perspective, appraising a piece of real estate in Midtown is not like appraising a home in the suburbs where it's cookie cutter new builds as far as the eye can see, and all the homes are worth about the same within, give or take, 100K, depending on if you renovated the kitchen or not. The lot sizes, the home age, the condition of the home, ceiling heights, school catchments. Is it on a south-facing lot? Is it a shallow lot, a deep lot, a wide lot? What is the norm lot size in said neighborhood? There's just a lot that goes into it. And I really hope that people can see the synergy between these different topics. Some of the people I interviewed are a personal trainer at a gym, or a kindergarten teacher at a school in Leaside, or a lawyer in Midtown mom whose kids are going, moving from one private school to another private school, a pediatrician. It's just an ecosystem that is beautifully complex and has a lot of depth, which is what I love about it the most. And I truly believe that some of the trends in marketing in 2026 are going to shy away from the conventional, just listed, just sold, that kind of dry, purely real estate all day, every day content, and more into looking to hire someone who is a human being, who gets you, who is you, who understands you, who represents the buyers who are buying your house, who represents the sellers who are selling in your neighborhood to connect you with other opportunities. Just that well-connected, well-rounded, relatable Midtown wife, mom, and realtor. So know that the backbone of everything I build is coming from a place of being a realtor, an entrepreneur, a business owner, and also a wife and a mom myself. And so let's see. I have some notes. Anything else I want to cover? Yeah. Let's be clear about the vibe here. If you know me personally, a lot of this is going to sound like, it checks out. But if you don't, here's what you can expect. I am warm, but I'm also direct. I will hype you up, and I will also tell you the truth. I like to live in this is a no excuse environment, not in a harsh way, in a respectful way, but I'm that friend that back in my 20s, if you asked me if I liked your boyfriend and I didn't, I will tell you I don't like your boyfriend, and I will tell you 5 reasons why. Because I don't think it helps you to pretend that I like something when I don't think it's good for you. So if you ask me my opinion, unfortunately, I am going to give it to you. That's just me. But I do believe in consistency beats intensity. So this is something I'm working on because I can be a very intense individual. In fact, when I first joined my current gym, almost 6 months ago, I would go hard and then ghost for 2 weeks at a time. The consistency wasn't helping. It doesn't matter how good the workout is if you only do it once every 2 weeks. It also doesn't matter how good the gym is if you never go, So now I'm all about consistency. This podcast is no different. You can expect an episode to go live every single week on Monday without fail. I've committed to 52 weeks of this year. We're going to see how it goes. At the end of the year, at the end of 2026, I'm going to reassess, see how things are going. But I have a feeling I'm going to love it because just filming last Friday was so fun. And now I have batched content for the next 3 months. So I've already had 5 solo episodes recorded that are not edited yet, but they're coming. And then I have 7 episodes that we recorded and are being edited on a weekly by weekly basis. So we're already pretty much good to go for Q1. I'm also going to be very transparent in this process because I think that podcasting is obviously an up and coming form of media and something that's more accessible than people realize. It's interesting how many people are kind of camera shy or podcast shy, but again, I am personally do it to get out of my comfort zone as a form of personal development. I have these awesome conversations with these amazing people in my life anyways. So in these instances, I'm just sharing it with you because I know that their expertise and their knowledge base is literally life-changing. And I just don't want to keep that to myself. So, yeah, that's what you can expect. I think that's it. The last thing I will say is a shout out to a podcaster that I admire named Scott Clary. He says the real magic is showing up consistently, not showing up perfectly. And, you just have to be ready that your first 20-ish podcast episodes, they're going to suck. So you know what? If this episode sucks, I'm okay with that because I did what I said I was going to do. I recorded, I filmed, I posted on Monday, January 5th, because I'm a person who does what they say they're going to do. And that's me showing up. And also, I can't get to my 21st episode when it's going to start to get good until I post my first 20. So, hello, goodbye. This is where we're at. I actually met Scott once in Miami. I'm going to call him a close friend. We're not close friends. We met once. But in my head, this is actually one of my superpowers. I will pick someone I look up to and I will make them my mentor in my head. And I will have full dialogues with myself of this is the advice Scott would give me. Scott said this. He said it to the ether, maybe on a podcast episode, on social media, but in my mind, he said that to me. He was like, Courtney, you should start your podcast. Just know the first 20 episodes are going to suck, but you can't get to the 21st episode when it starts getting good unless you post the first 20, right? So that's this. This is my personality. And the point is, I listen to people who have built real things and the pattern is always the same. Also, I can almost predict someone that's going to go far. Now being in social media, 15 years, when I see an up and coming person, I just know. I know they're going to hit and I know they're going to do well and all they have to do is keep showing up, And one thing about me, I give a lot of unsolicited advice. And another thing, I need to take my own advice. So here's me taking my own advice, exactly what I would tell someone else, which is just do it already. Just hit post, ship it, minimum viable product. There's that guy that said, if you're not embarrassed by your first draft or your first version, you started too late. So we're putting perfectionism to bed. We're going to tuck her in. Night, night. Goodbye. We're not doing that anymore. 2026, we show up consistently for ourselves. So here's what's coming. You'll hear conversations about wealth building, leadership, confidence, relationships, discipline, health, and what it takes to ascend in your life without burning out. You'll hear my behind the scenes, including what it looks like to be building a big vision while raising a family. And you'll hear practical tools, not theories, tools. And just a tease of what's coming up. We're building self-trust. Actually, I'm not even going to talk to these things. All right, my simple call to action is wherever you're listening to this, subscribe, share with a friend, share the love, and just know I'm going to be back next Monday and every Monday for the rest of 2026. So thank you so much. If you made it to this point, tears. I just cue the tears. I am deeply grateful. I have such gratitude. I'm honored that you've spent the last 33 minutes with me. And if you have any questions at all, any topics you want me to cover, any guests you'd like me to have on, anything at all, I would love to hear from you because I truly love cultivating community, building relationships. And like I said, I think someone recently told me 10 people have told me this. I'm the most extroverted person you will ever meet, likely. Love people, love meeting new people, love connecting, human behavior. I just love it. So let's go into 2026 knowing that we can do hard things. And if you're a mom, you know you can do hard things. You do hard things every day. So shout out to you. And thank you. This is Courtney Smith, and this is Ascend. Thank you for being here, and I will see you on the next episode. I need intro music and outro music, and I need a logo. Oh, I have to message Crystal. The logo is designed by Crystal D'Souza. I haven't even looked at it yet, but I just know it's going to be fire. I know she's just going to nail it because she's so talented. And also, fellow Midtown mom, you know. So that's it. No more blabbering. We're going to wrap up. Happy holidays, happy new year, and let's get it.